I've been obsessed about this show from that first season, particularly with the introduction of Lenny Bruce. So I did a deep dive on Lenny Bruce and his whole history as sort of this iconic, disruptive comedian who broke down barriers and literally destroyed himself in the process. We're at this point again where comedy is being censored and is being also wildly disruptive of people that would want to censor it. And it all sort of started with Lenny Bruce, and they followed that storyline throughout Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the most fantastic parts of the show. The guy who plays, is it Luke? Oh man, I should know the name, but Luke, whoever it is that plays Lenny Bruce, he won an Emmy for that portrayal in the show, and it's really fantastic. I mean, he does just a spot-on job. It was originally a character that I think was created just for the pilot episode. It was just going to be a little throwaway, like in-joke, and then he was so good, and their chemistry was so good, they decided to keep the character around, and it's really vital, I think, to the story that is told there. Is you're also seeing the story of Lenny Bruce, and you're seeing, particularly in the final episode, again, spoilers for people who haven't seen it, but I thought they did a great job of showing the way in which it was really like it's bad laws and bad policy that kind of destroy him. We do see in the final episode him doing what was basically in real life. This was one of his final performances in San Francisco in 1965, just before he died of a drug overdose, and where he was just sort of ranting and raving and going through his own criminal history.
Yeah.
And it's it's not very funny. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
not a very good comedy performance, but it does do I think a great job of showing how this character, who over the course of 4 seasons you saw as a tour de force of a comedian, and a character that our hero in the show really is aspiring to kind of live up to, and who is also pushing her along. And then you saw how he was destroyed by the bad decisions, really, by poor government policy that tried to censor what he could say on stage in comedy clubs.
Total sidebar, but relevant. Jim Caruso, the CEO of Flying Dog, who has spoken at a number of recent events, I think that's where I first met him. He actually produced a special beer with Lenny Bruce's face on it for a First Amendment.
I still have one of those in my fridge. I got a few of those, and there's still one sitting back there that I haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah, I think I may as well, and maybe the beer will age, but the principle I think will age well. But that final show that Lenny Bruce did, I think, was with Frank Zappa and the Mothers, which is another favorite of mine. The first reason piece I ever wrote was about Frank Zappa, so we're doing a deep dive here. But back to the comedy thing, I think that the thing that's happening today, so we're in this sort of cancel culture mode where people aren't allowed to say certain things, and I sort of, a little bit of hyperbole, but I think comedians might actually save us from ourselves, because they're still allowed usually to say things that make us uncomfortable.